Hi everyone. Hey, now that we're on our Chromebooks right now, we don't have access to our PCs with Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop. Let's look at a few options that are out there that are available and even some free options that are available uh, to you to be able to use on your Chromebook. We're going to take a look at this site called Vectr.com. It's similar to Adobe Illustrator as it is vector based. And the nice thing about this one is that if you create a free account, you could actually download your file as an SVG, which is scalable vector graphics, and actually open that file in Adobe Illustrator to further edit it. So this would be a good thing to use anytime you're at home and you want to kind of work on something. Save it, and then open it up at a later date in Adobe Illustrator. So let's go ahead and log in on this site again. This is Vectr, Vectr.com. I'm going to go ahead and log in, and I already have an account created, so I'm going to go ahead and use my login information. And I have a couple files already started, but here we are when we first logged in. These are all my past files that I've explored. I'm going to go ahead and create a new file though. Click in the top left and new create file. And basically here is your main toolbar, kind of similar to Adobe Illustrator. Rectangle, rounded rectangle, ellipse, and it's very similar to Adobe Illustrator. If you just click and drag, you have an ellipse. If you hold shift, it constrains it as a circle. I'm going to go ahead and hit delete on my keyboard. Here's a pen tool, pencil tool. Pen tool is the exact same as Adobe Illustrator also. Click, 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 or click and drag, click and drag, click and drag to create a curve. Enter when you're done. Delete on your keyboard if you don't like it. Here's our text tool, and there's actually more shapes under the three options dots down here. I'm going to go ahead and start with some text though. And just like Adobe Illustrator, we're going to go ahead and single click. And I'm going to turn caps lock on, and let's go ahead and type Harupa. I'm going to hit escape on my keyboard, or deselect, I'm sorry, click off of it to deselect. And then click to move it around. Click on this right side to scale it. But once you deselect, or if you select something, once you select, your options are over here, pretty similar. You guys will be able to figure this out. Color, border, or stroke. You want to change your size, change your font name. I'm sorry, your font style. Um, let's get this flipped over to, this might be the hard part, is a lot of these fonts might be an online font, which might not be available necessarily when we bring it to Adobe Illustrator, but we could probably find similar. I'm going to change the font. Let's change the color. Let's click somewhere in the blue areas, and let's go ahead and add a gray stroke to it. Let's go ahead and increase the stroke size, and there we go. All right, let's go ahead and add, let's say, an oval around the outside of this. And we got to figure out how to rearrange the order on this. To change the order and move this to the background, typically in Adobe Illustrator, you would right click, send to back or something like that. But we have the layers over here on the left-hand side on this Vectr.com website. We could just rearrange the order right here. I'm going to take the ellipse and I'm going to, oops, let me do that again. Actually, I did that accidentally. You could just rearrange the order, and I grabbed the ellipse to the bottom. And let's go ahead and change this to let's change it to a darker gray. I'm just doing this real quick for the sake of the video. And how about we add a blue stroke and increase. Oh, and I'm sorry, that was a shadow I just added. You guys get the idea. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to show you how we can then download this already. So use this just like you would Adobe Illustrator. Um, all your files are saved back over here. Here's the most recent one. I click open. I can bring it to this file. And again, this is my profile. It took me back to the screen that I had my files saved. But what we're going to do is if we wanted to now open this up into Adobe Illustrator, is go ahead and click this export button. I'm going to export it, and this time I'm actually going to make sure you click it as a PNG or JPEG. Is going to be raster based. It's all going to be pixels. We're not going to be able to edit it as easily as in Adobe Illustrator. So make sure you save this as an SVG, and I'm going to go ahead and click download. And it came down here to my downloads. I'm going to click right here, show in folder, and it's going to bring up my downloads folder. And here's my untitled. I didn't give it a name. Let's go ahead and right click open with Adobe Illustrator. And like I said, that is a problem. This font is not available on this computer. So we're going to have to find something similar. But everything else you create is going to be right-click, ungroup, right-click, ungroup one more time. And as you can see, everything we created in Vectr.com is actually now editable. And it is vector-based. So let me ungroup this. As you can see, let me change this to a lighter color. And as you can see, it's all about these anchors that you can come back and edit. And that's how we know it is vector-based at that moment. All right, I know this was just a quick tutorial, but again, this is Vectr.com, similar to Adobe Illustrator. If you'd like to work on vector-style graphics when you don't have access to Adobe Illustrator. All right, hope you enjoyed. Take care, y'all.